Welcome back, everybody, to Sean and Celeste Talk Show. We are here today to chat about our week. Let's get started. I'm Sean,
I'm Celeste.
and we're here to talk about boring things in our lives.
And news and other stuff.
News and other stuff. Yeah, today's topic, we're going to talk about some news-worthy items that, kind of got us in some heated arguments online and
Hot topics. Very
hot topics.
and loaded and
Yes.
volatile.
But first, we're going to start off with, we got a submission for a name for the show, which was pretty interesting. We only got one, thank you guys, but it was CS Vibe, which I'm assuming stands for Celeste and Sean's Vibe. Kind of getting a feel for us, I guess you could say. And I think it's all right. I mean, it's the only one so far, so it might be something to go with. And if you guys like it, let us know. What do you think about that name?
Well, I think it's easy to pronounce. It's small and short to the point, kind of, It's especially abbreviations are always nice. But, I like it. It's got a good feel.
I
So.
know, especially since only one person helped us out with that. And it wasn't necessarily that we just couldn't think of anything. It's just we kind of wanted to see what you guys were thinking, get in your brains a little bit. So that one came through, and we'll see how it goes. Let us know if you like that. If not, we won't do it. But if so, we got this. We also decided that we're going to announce the email address for our show so you can get a hold of us. We want to start doing email questions. You guys can ask us whatever you want, and I don't know why I bleeped myself. I guess for the kids. But
personal censorship.
yes, we're announcing our email, which is so you guys can email us. It's a little more direct contact, so you don't have to post in the comments or all that. So you can get a question through to us. Maybe you want us to address something, and use a username so we don't address your name, and we'll go over it. Something we can throw in here.
Well, we'll always keep it anonymous unless you really, really, really want us to say kind of an idea of who you are, but we won't really use any names. It's just kind of common courtesy. But, specific questions, not just like, oh, talk about this, you know, vague subject. Just give us specific things,
Something we can get detailed about.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I said, we won't announce names. I mean, unless John emailed you and said blah blah blah. So I mean, if you had a generic first name, or if you have a username you wouldn't mind us using, that'd be cool too. That way we can announce a little bit, so we're not going. Ugh. So we might do 3 questions an episode if we get the emails for it.
Sad, sad day.
I'm gonna go cry now. So that'll be posted up underneath. But if you need to know it now, it is 2119 productions at gmail.com. 2119 productions. If you don't know how to spell that, get a dictionary at gmail.com.
Yes, there's no strange spelling. The numbers are quite literally numbers. None of them are spelled out, and there's no punctuation. So,
Yes.
to avoid any confusion, that's literally all it is.
So, shoot us your emails. Now, we're going to move on to some news. This is some great things in our lives. But not really. Some of this news is kind of depressing and stupid, but we'll get into it. First, we want to start off by letting everyone know that one of our favorite bands, Nothing More, one we're both really into a lot, is touring at this moment. And I mean, I don't know if they're going to be in anybody's area. You can look it up at, nothingmore.com, I believe. That's the website. And look up the I Know Jenny tour. Hashtag I Know Jenny. Don't hashtag. Ugh.
That opens a whole new can of worms we don't need to get into right now.
Yes, now. But check it out, the I Know Jenny tour. It's going now, and they're doing it to raise awareness for all kinds of disorders like.
A lot of it's addiction related, like they say people who get addicted and they can't quite pull themselves out, or people who need help and aren't quite seeking it.
Yeah, I'm glad you pulled the words off my tongue because I couldn't think of it. Yeah, addictions, self-harm, anything like that that people can't normally get over by themselves and need a little help with. So check it out. It's really cool.
And I know they've been pairing themselves with the whole the To Write Love on Her Arms group. They keep on mentioning that. They mention different charities and whatnot. They're all paired together. I know To Write Love on Her Arms actually involved themselves in one of their concerts recently.
Oh, see, there you go. Something I did not know at this very moment. But check it out. It's in process right now, and I think it's something you can look into, and it's a positive outlook. It's something good for the people, which is good. All right, let's get into something a little more depressing, I guess you can say, or angering. It'll anger a lot of you, and if you're any sort of human being, yes, it'll anger you. We This video was posted a while ago online about some, and I'm not going to use any niceties, but black people attacking a white lady and her. It's been speculated it's a little brother or kid, her son, but the child that was with her was really young, and they attacked her, and they actually laid hands on the kid, which was whew, infuriating.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's one thing to start attacking a lady, and you don't know what it was about because in the video, the girl who's holding it is just running up, but they're all laughing and hollering and hooping and whatnot. Some of the descriptions I've seen were saying that she was just in the wrong neighborhood, and it was just a matter of they didn't like seeing people like that. Other people were saying that she used a derogatory term, which you couldn't hear in the video, but that's just what they were saying. But either way, the fact that these kids started just beating on her, dragging her to the ground, holding her by the hair, and just punching her repeatedly in the face, and then she's screaming, saying, "What did I do?" She gets up and walks away, and they go at her again, and then the little kid, the little boy, tries to push him off, and they start swinging on the kid. And it's bad enough that they're attacking a girl for reasons that we don't even know. I mean, they're all laughing about it, though. And then she's trying to walk away and trying to get away from them and not further provoke any fighting, and they go after her again, and then they swing on the kid, which is so much worse. It makes you just want to punch people in the face.
I agree. It's, you walk into a wrong neighborhood nowadays, and people will either shoot you, jump you. Our states and people in them have gone so retarded that you wear the wrong colors and you get shot. You walk
Mm-hmm.
through the wrong neighborhood, you get shot. You say something that was they think implied something else,
Mm-hmm.
you get shot.
Oh yeah.
I mean, even talking about it online right now, we're gonna get shot. But it's retarded to think that why can't we as a community, all of us, become something better than attacking each other over useless crap? I mean,
Exactly.
go join the Taliban if you really want to fight against your fellow Americans,
Yeah, it's just
It,
there's no excuse for this kind of stuff. I mean,
yeah, you laid hands on a young child and a woman who was just constantly saying, "What did I do? What did I do? I'm sorry," and tried to leave, and you go after her again. You've got to be completely retarded.
and she's obviously defenseless. She wasn't fighting back at all. There was nothing she could do. And I mean, you're attacking someone who's not well equipped in their lives, I guess, to fight, and you're beating her to the ground and you keep going after her. It's like, what kind of cowardly person are you that you can only pick on someone who can't stand up to you?
Yeah, and you excuse my French here, but you got to be like a pathetic bitch of a person to attack someone who's not as equal to you and say about how violent you are and who didn't even want to fight in the first place. Like, and you wonder why cops nowadays are shooting first and not caring if you die. Because, I mean, hello, you guys set a bad example for yourself. And this isn't a color thing. I don't want anybody to take this wrong, but that's for anyone. It's blown out of proportion with other colors other than white people because white people for some reason are more privileged, they say, which is stupid because you definitely earned your rights and whatnot, and that goes for Asians, Mexicans, blacks, any of you guys. Everyone's equal in this fucking country. Yes, there's still racism. It's never gonna go away. That's just how people are.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing you can do about it is not give in to the stereotypical thing that's making people racist. You
Exactly.
know,
And before we move on to a different subject, though, I do want to mention that that video is circulating, and people are saying that it's from Baltimore, and it's not. We looked it up. It was in Indianapolis, and the girl who attacked the white girl and her, brother, son, whatever, was arrested. And they went to court, all that. We didn't get to see much more on it, but she was arrested. There were repercussions for it, but a lot of people say that they're posting that video to fuel a fire that's already started with the Baltimore riots.
Yeah, and that's ridiculous. And she was arrested, is what the news we got. Don't quote us because we don't have facts. We're not sitting in front of somebody telling us the facts
Yeah,
and
we're not
seeing
looking up
evidence.
literal criminal records on the Superior Court of that county or anything like that.
We're
We
just
just
going off the knowledge we can get off the internet. Same thing as what you guys would do. And she's being tried as a juvenile, I believe it said, which is
yeah,
dumb. When you abuse someone in any way, shape, or form, and then you abuse a child, you should automatically be tried as adult.
exactly,
I mean, some ages, yeah, I can see you getting in a little pissy fit fight, but when you brutally attack someone the way she did, there's no excuse.
exactly,
So I mean, watch out for people like that. Keep a good head on your shoulders, people, because there's just idiots out there, a lot
exactly.
of them. So I mean,
Know when to pick your fights and when to walk away, or in this case, I guess she should have just run away because there was nothing else she could have done. But I
yeah,
mean,
but
it's
running would have left her kid in the dust, and
that's true. And
I
then
mean,
they
she was
probably would
definitely
have,
a lot older and bigger,
and they probably would have chased her down anyway, and it would have been
yeah.
so much
So
worse.
I mean, she stayed with the kid, and she trying to get the kid out of there. Just keep walking. But people these days, man, makes you just want to break someone's teeth out. And I'm not saying I hit women or anything, or I would hit a woman, but if I seen that happening, I would intervene.
Oh yeah, no, there's no excuse for that. And
And
you
even
know,
if I got jumped, if I could get that kid and that lady away, and maybe I got jumped instead, I would make that sacrifice because there's not a reason on this planet for that.
no, except for people just promoting whatever
Stupidity. That's all it
stupidity,
is.
and that was honestly that it looked like racism. They kept on calling her white bitch when they were attacking her, but I don't know
Just
what
low
their reason
lives.
was, but yeah, it
Like
was all
almost
bad.
everyone in that video, and I'm not quoting this off anything, but that's just my opinion. Everyone in that video, except for the lady getting attacked, were low lives. They'll never become anything better than a bunch of street thugs who have nothing better to do than pick on people. So, okay, well, we're going to move on from this before I get infuriated. We'll move on to a less infuriating article, and then we'll go back to a more infuriating article.
There's
So,
a calm before the storm. I'm
yes.
sorry.
Speaking of fights, the here in Las Vegas tonight was the Mayweather Pacquiao fight, and I'm not much into fights, UFC, anything like that, boxing. It's not a big thing for me. I like shit and some giggle fights in the garage with some buddies and whatnot, but I never really watch it. But I hear here in Vegas, it's bringing in so much traffic, it's ridiculous. And
We got to see this picture of the McCarran Airport, which is the main airport here in Vegas, and it was just riddled with private jets that were just Tetrised their way in there so that they could fit all of them. And they're
yeah,
saying that air traffic is so backed up right now because they can't fit all these planes.
it was like looking at the flea market in its busiest moment.
Yeah.
And so it was really packed. It was, and there's so many people down there. I hear general admission tickets came out to like $1,500 a piece, I think.
Oh, there was a guy that I saw on the actual news group for the Facebook page. This guy apparently had the chance to get 4 tickets, and he bought them at 3,500 each.
Yeah, that's
That's so. I'm sorry. I mean, if you've got the money for it and you're really, you're really passionate about that sort of thing. I mean, good for you. That's fine, whatever. But that would put me into so much debt. It's not even funny.
debt. I mean, we're already in a depression and money's all like, ugh. But
I'd be selling my soul for shit like that.
I would never pay that much for something that wasn't important. Like this fight, ooh, it's big. It's the biggest fight ever. And Mayweather gets paid like he's one of the highest paid athletes. And I'm not going to give figures because I don't know offhand, but it's just a ridiculous amount this guy gets paid for fighting another guy, which is he's a good fighter. They're all pros. I would never want to get in a ring with them, but if anybody can just box and make millions and millions of dollars, why the hell can I not just jump in a ring, get my ass kicked, and get paid millions and millions of dollars? You know, it's just kind of ridiculous. So I mean, something I would never pay that much for, or even want them to be paid that much for. Yes, give them enough for really good medical benefits because that's what they'll need, and retirement because they'll be retiring early with brain damage, like football players. But so that's going on tonight, and we haven't heard anything bad happen yet. But normally when things like this happen in Vegas, people get shot, fights break out with random people, not the main event.
Oh yeah, we had plenty of warnings from different people who are locals here that, you avoid the strip on
I
nights
just
like these.
I just want to chime in. We're locals now.
Well, no, you know what I mean. We haven't even been here for a damn year. Come on, Sean.
We're still locals now. We have resided here. We live here. We know our
Uh-huh.
way around a bit. We're becoming locals. I mean, we just might be loc. We're just missing the alls, but
You know what I
we're getting
mean.
there. We are getting there. Anyway, so that's going on tonight, and I don't root for anyone. So that's me. But I don't think Celeste roots for anyone either. We don't
No, if
care.
if I don't know anything about it, I'm not really going to have much of an opinion on it. So that's just how it is.
Yeah. So good luck to whoever wins.
Or whoever won.
Exactly. That's my rendition of good luck. You won. Why do you need luck anymore? It was kind of supposed to be a hot joke, but you killed it for me. Thank you.
Oh, well, I'm so, so sorry. You kind of stepped all over my locals thing, so
Oh,
now we're even.
all's fair. Moving on. So, our big talk tonight is going to be about Baltimore. I know we're not in Baltimore, and it's really not our.
It's not our fight, but
No. But
it's a.
it's gotten out of hand.
Yeah, and so many people have so many different opinions on this whole thing, and it all stems around police brutality and, abuse of power and all that. But I think people just take it way, way too far.
Yeah, it's.
At
You
this
ha-
point, it's a bunch of little kids throwing a temper tantrum.
and that's exactly what it is. I mean, there was like high school kids and whatnot in there, and they don't even understand what they're fighting for. They just think, "Oh, you're racist. You abused your power."
A lot of them
And
just
they
take
don't.
it as an opportunity.
Yes, it's exactly what it is. Is when something happens like this, it is opportunity for thugs and miscreants of the world to have a reason to destroy things. Like,
Mm-hmm.
oh shit, this guy died. We don't know him, but let's go retaliate.
Let's go loot a store and break their windows and destroy cars and.
Like, I don't think they realize these people rioting in Baltimore right now, destroying, you know, businesses, buildings in their city. It's you're destroying your own community. You're not contributing to how the judgment of like what should be done about the situation.
Yeah,
Uh,
you're not. At that point, you're not even really like protesting the police force. You're basically just looking for an excuse to hurt other people. What good are you doing if you're destroying property that other people have to pay out of their pocket to have to try to fix once they're done, who aren't even directly related to the matter? If you start destroying someone's car, standing on their car just because a car's right there for you to stand on, someone's gonna have to pay for that, and someone who has no idea, like they're not even relevant to the situation in any way, shape, or form, you're destroying their property and you're causing them to have to pay out of pocket, and who knows what kind of job they have. Maybe they don't get enough, maybe they live paycheck to paycheck, and you're making such a
and
big suffering for them.
it's bad because just because you people don't have nice things and you didn't work for stuff in your life and you think it's okay to destroy everyone else's things, it's not. Because I'm pretty sure if I were there, I would retaliate against retaliators.
Oh yeah.
You want to burn down the businesses and stuff that our taxes paid for, that hard-working people built, not anybody that has to do with this kid that was murdered or died in a car or a van, back of a van. I mean, you don't deserve to have your stuff anymore. You destroy things that aren't yours. You burn down buildings. If I was there, I would burn down your homes. And I'm not saying that as a threat. I'm just saying it would be my retaliation. That's something that I would encourage people to do. Don't do it. I'm not saying anybody should, but come on. What if somebody did go to your house and burnt down your home? This is where you live. This is where your family lives. Or burnt down your schools or the welfare office that, probably most of you have checks from because you don't have a job apparently. You don't get it. Don't do shit like that. It's
Exactly. It's not helping any situations. And a lot of people start trying to say that this is a racial issue. It's not. There are plenty of people of other ethnicities other than black people in those riots. It's a matter of you're all grouping yourselves together as idiots. Just complete idiots. And you're all catering to this fucking bandwagon of there was a case of police brutality. I'm gonna go break shit. You know?
it's just like I said before. You wonder why cops shoot first now. Because you act like a dumbass, they're gonna treat you like a dumbass.
And it's not a matter of color when they start assuming that. It's a matter of how you talk, how you dress, the way you carry yourself. There are a lot of ways to determine if someone looks like they could possibly rob you or not,
Yeah,
The
you
way that
sag your
people.
pants, you wear these big ass shirts, and it's just typical that we think you're concealing a weapon, and that's just not me. That's everybody. I mean, if you look
Exactly.
like a hoodlum, we're gonna treat you like a hoodlum.
And people say that it's not right for the cops to act this way, but I did see a video once, and it was back when the entire Ferguson thing happened. This female cop had pulled this guy over and was talking to him. She made him get out of the car, and they're standing in front of the police car where there was a dash cam. They're talking, and she reaches down for her pen, her pen and paper, and he decks her, knocks her to the ground, and just starts beating the shit out of her on the ground. She had no chance to defend herself whatsoever, and then he just takes off. And you wonder why they do shoot and why they do use tasers and why they use excessive force sometimes. Because if that happens to them, then look at that. The criminal got away, and obviously, it's someone who has violent tendencies who's probably going to go take it out on someone else next. You know?
Yeah, you guys set the example for yourselves. I mean, there's no way around that. So, and the only racism I ever got out of this whole Baltimore thing was not the cops being racist, not other people being racist, but the blacks being racist against everyone else. Because you think it's all about you when it's not.
Well, hence the
If,
whole hashtag that they're doing now, Black Lives Matter.
which is retarded, don't do hashtags. But not one single life matters more than the other. Because,
Exactly.
I mean, unless you come from the future and you know who's going to cure cancer, no one's more important than the other person. Because we all live here, we all try to do the best we can to live here, and that's just how it is. You can't, you just can't. I mean, oh my gosh. You
There's.
guys, if it would have been a white guy in that car,
It wouldn't have made the
what
news in the first place.
it wouldn't have made the news. All these people wouldn't have retaliated. I mean, if it was an Asian in the car, these people wouldn't retaliate. If it was a Mexican in the car, they might have had a pissed off guy or something, but
But it wouldn't have made the news.
it wouldn't have been, oh, guy dies in police transport, dirt to dirt. Only, and I don't mean this to be racist, but only the black people. You guys think that everything is about you at the moment because when you see it in the news, you blow it up. More white people die a day. It's just statistics that
And
it.
it makes me think of in 2014, they did publish this statistic that showed how many people had died from police brutality. And the number of white people was almost double what the number of black people were. The black people were next. I think it was, I don't remember whether it was Asians or Hispanics that were next, and they just had them down the list. And I've had so many people telling me, oh, that's not a real number, that's not a real number. If you try to Google the statistics for that, you will get nothing. Absolutely nothing. This was on CNN. It wasn't some stupid Fox bullshit. It was, it was just the only thing that they've produced. I mean, you have nothing to go against that statistic. You have no counter evidence to really offer. So you have no choice but to believe that. But to just outright start saying, oh, well, that's a false number is just dumb.
You're
Okay?
being ignorant, and it's not. It's not something you should be ignorant about. Learn your facts before you jump into
And
things.
don't just jump on the bandwagon. All these people who started going on this Black Lives Matter thing, and whenever someone retaliates and says all lives matter, they start going, oh, well, all lives do matter, but we're focusing on black people now. It's like, why? Because that makes headlines. Because that gives news stations, all the viewers and all the people who give responses about it because it hypes everyone up because they've made such a big deal about it every single time it happens. I'm sorry, but every time a black person dies from a cop shooting or anything of the sort, they blow it up, like you said, way out of proportion. And all of a sudden, it just makes national news and everything. If it happens to any other ethnicity, it doesn't even make the news. And that's because none of the rest of the races think it's a racist thing. We don't take it to heart. We don't take it personally. We just think, oh, well, that guy must have been a criminal, probably deserved it. And I'm not gonna lie, in some cases it is police brutality, and there are quite a few corrupt cops out there. No one's denying that. But this type of activity is what causes people to start shooting another person because they wear a badge. And that's just as bad, if not worse.
That's the same thing that everyone in this country seems to fight over colors. Blue, red, green, yellow, and the territory that they own. You're all a bunch of idiots also. And if you want to shoot me,
We're gonna get our cars burned and whatnot.
whatever. I don't care. The point is, you're a bunch of idiots. You live in a country, we're supposed to be United States, not let's separate everybody in the fucking states we live in and say, oh, well, we're better than you. No, we're better than you. And then people get shot in the crossfire of territorial gang shit. And yes, gangs. You are all retarded. I don't care who you are. You can date back to the fucking, you know, before Christ era. You're all idiots. I don't know what the. I mean, you fight over a color and territory, which is. I drink Mountain Dew and it's got green all over it. If I were to walk in the wrong neighborhood, I'd get shot for that, which is the dumbest thing in the world. And it's true because people with, a generic blue shirt or something do these walking through a neighborhood and get shot because he wore a blue shirt and he could have been the whitest dude ever, not wearing anything. It'll be in the local news. Nobody will care.
It had happened near where we used to live. I mean, there was a girl who was wearing a red shirt just walking through a neighborhood. She got shot because she was wearing red.
Is
I
that
remember this story, and it's ridiculous. You know what? They used to have that same thing back in, post Civil War days. It was called the Ku Klux Klan. They were a fucking gang. They're still a fucking gang. Those people are just some of the most ignorant people out there that they still try to push on this racism and keep it going. But then you got gangs doing the exact same thing. It's still discrimination. It may not be on the color of your skin, but it's the color of whatever you fucking wear, and that's a preference thing. I mean, goddamn. How dumb can these people get?
there? It's just everywhere. I mean, getting a little off topic, but I mean, like, gang initiations are also done. Because I remember back home, there was that one. The lady was walking her baby, and the dude, in order to get in this gang, he had to shoot the baby or something. So he ended up shooting her, shooting the baby. She lived, but what on earth you go and kill an innocent baby and
Exactly.
the mom like because you want to get in a gang of stupidity? Come on, grow up. I cannot express how stupid gangs are. End of story. If you're in one, suck a dick. Put a dick in your ass. Because that's what you do anyway, right? But
So they'll be
that's.
doing when they go to jail.
I'm sorry for all the foul language on this show today. But we get heated in some of these subjects. But let's go back to this Baltimore thing. So in Baltimore, they had set a curfew, and there was a video going around of a guy. Yep, I don't know if he was preaching or yelling
He
but he
was
was
doing
talking to the
something.
wall of cops, and the curfew was in effect. And you see a Hummer roll up, and the camera gets blurry and zooms in real bad and doesn't pan out, so you can't really tell what really happened. People are saying they bagged him and took him, and by all rights, they had the right to. They had the right to take him and arrest him
Yeah,
because he was out past the law of curfew. And if you're doing that in the state of emergency that this city's in, you don't disobey the law on purpose. You're
exactly.
asking to be arrested and taken.
And a lot of people started going, oh, well, that curfew was stupid in the first place. It doesn't matter. There are stupid laws out there, but they're laws, and you still follow them.
There are so many stupid
If
laws.
you don't, you get arrested, plain and simple. And that's just how it is. It doesn't matter if you agree with it or not. If it's in
If you,
place, you
yeah,
have to follow it.
if you don't understand why the law is in place and it's a temporary curfew because they're trying to stop you idiots from destroying the city. And anybody who follows that and thinks that that's okay to destroy the city and riot because of this death, then why isn't the whole world in chaos? Because people die all the time from stupid stuff.
Exactly.
And I mean, the world's not a perfect place. By all means, it's not. But follow the damn law. They're trying to fix everything. And the evidence, I guess, led to a little change of subject, but the evidence led to the cops getting arrested, for the murder charges and stuff. So
Exactly.
they got their just dues, and you guys destroyed a city for nothing.
And it's kind of difficult to follow that. And there's people on both sides of the fence because there's evidence supporting both sides of this entire argument of what happened to Freddie Gray. The fact that they talk about, okay, well, he gets into the van and when he comes out, he had to be taken to ER and all that. So what happened in the van? But then there's also people saying, I guess there was another prisoner that was in the van, and he released a statement saying that it sounded like Gray was hitting his head against the wall. And at first, he only told people he thought he was intentionally hurting himself. But then later on, he said it was only for about 4 seconds, and then he didn't hear anything else. But he said the vehicle was just a smooth ride the entire time. And yet, doctors who were examining Gray's dead body were saying that the trauma to his head had to have been enough force that was similar to people who were in car accidents. But if it was a smooth ride, how did that happen unless who knows what could have happened? There's all kinds of speculation that could go around.
And I don't know if there was any officers in the back because I don't remember if they do that. I don't think they
I
do.
really doubt it because they didn't.
So on the ride there, if there's no officers in the back, I mean, and you're saying some officer just went in there and killed him or something, but they take these rides, and I'm pretty sure they're solo caged in there. They just throw them in the back and say, sit there until we get to where we're going. They don't control, you know, throwing you around. I mean,
Which the only thing that they do have against the cops is that I guess they recently released these new regulations that are saying the cops have to secure the prisoners when they get in the back. They have to, buckle them up, have
see,
some
and
restraints
that's
so
where
they
the
won't
cops
fall
went wrong.
around.
I think they should have to secure them before the regulations were released.
Well,
That should
definitely.
just be something you do, is secure the passenger. But especially if you're going to throw them in there handcuffed and whatnot. But it doesn't justify destroying a city over at all. The cops got tried, they got murder charges, and I can almost guarantee you that's how it would have went if you didn't riot the city. If you didn't destroy things.
What was the point?
Yeah, you didn't get anything across except for that you're a bunch of retarded people.
Exactly. The nation now thinks that you're a bunch of idiots and everything went the same way that it would have gone in the first place. There is nothing that you gain from that other than hurting other people, your fellow citizens, who weren't involved in anything whatsoever. It's just there was no reason behind it. And I absolutely hate when people start doing things that act against their fellow man, but they're saying that they're fighting for rights in the country. It's like, no, you're not. You're hurting your fellow citizens. This country is no longer unified when you think that taking out your aggression on someone else is a way to get your point across to an entirely different matter. If it's not related, there's no reason to be doing it. And that's same with, the Ferguson riots. All these college kids in Los Angeles started lining up along the freeway, stopping people from going to work. And it's like, I'm sorry, I would have kept on rolling until they got out of the way. Those kids were stopping people from getting to their jobs. And for what? I mean, big deal. You're standing in the middle of a fucking road. What are you trying to get across to people? Oh, I'm gonna stand here because for some reason standing in the same spot for so long means that I'm protesting a certain instance. When meanwhile you're hurting other people's livelihoods and their ability to get to work. It's just the same thing. All these riots, all these stupid protests related to these dumb things where they protest in irrelevant ways. If you're gonna protest the police, go to the goddamn police station.
Yeah, I mean, stand there with signs and picket and riot.
There you
Don't
go. You can yell and scream all you want, but
stop destroying things that you didn't build. You have no right to destroy. You need to grow up and learn some common sense because it's not your place to destroy things. That's just, unless you built it, don't destroy it.
exactly.
Period. It doesn't belong to you. So, I mean, I kind of like what the baseball game that happened in Baltimore recently with, I believe, the White Sox and the Baltimore Orioles. I don't know how to pronounce that. But either way, the game, they continued on with the game, the baseball game,
Even though no one was
and
there.
no one was there. They didn't let anybody in, which I think was great, you know? We're going to have fun without you idiots. So that was pretty cool. I think that was a good little. I mean, arrests were made, curfews were put in place, evidence was found. Everything went down the way it went down. We can't. We probably said retard and stupidity and idiots in this show way too much, but it's true. You're all idiots, retards, and are stupid with stupidity. So, um, I mean, you said something earlier about this linking to gay marriage.
Okay, so that was this Texas lawmaker apparently, and a friend of ours posted this on Facebook. Of course, when I
The
tried,
trusty Facebook.
I know when I tried bringing up the article again, Facebook's like, no, bitch, we're gonna just reset the entire thing so you can't look at anything. But if this comes up anytime soon, Republican U.S. House Representative Bill Flores. This was in Texas. This guy is saying that gay marriage helped, or legalizing gay marriage, helped contribute to the Baltimore riots. I don't know how these people get into positions of power with the government. If you're saying stupid shit like that, why am I paying taxes to pay your damn, paycheck? And you're saying stupid shit like this. These people make no sense whatsoever. And the entire point I guess they're trying to make is that, oh, well, families get a lot of problems when a kid has two moms or two dads. The traditional family is the only way that you can have a normal childhood. And that's not true because I've seen so many different testimonies from kids who grew up with, a mom and a mom or a dad and a dad, and they say their family was totally fine. But it doesn't make any sense.
I agree. I don't understand how destroying things leads to, or gay marriage leads to destroying things.
Well, the way that they put it was they're saying, oh, the breakdown of family because of having two, same sex parents causes discord and kids who
You
don't know
know,
how to act because apparently you have to have a mom and a dad in order to know what's right and what's wrong.
when it comes to gays, and I'm not against gays at all. I actually encourage it. I love it. I got gay family, gay friends, and I mean, I love it. They're some of the most awesome people I know, period. And the way I see it is, it doesn't take a man and a woman to create a great relationship for a child because when I grew up, and this is in my personal experience, I never had the perfect mom and dad. Actually, it was quite the opposite. I didn't get to meet my dad till I was way older in life. My mom was constantly doing things that society wouldn't agree with. Um, Boyfriends who were violent and just harmful in all kinds of ways. And I hated these people. It was just all bad. And the person who took me in was a family member of mine, and she's a lesbian. She was so awesome that I grew up to be a great person. In the story. And I'm not saying my mom wasn't a good person, but she made some bad choices, and it didn't quite make me learn to be a better person. I saw that as like, oh, is that how life is? No. So saying that kids aren't going to grow up properly because of man on man or girl on girl is stupid because I grew up with my relative and she was a lesbian and I watched her with her girlfriend for the longest part, but I grew up to be perfectly fine. and she has 2 kids now, and they're doing fantabulous. I cannot express how much I love how good they're doing right now.
Oh yeah, they're doing very good. We keep hearing how well they're doing. We get to see pictures, and it's just they're perfectly normal.
Yeah, they have. There is no issue whatsoever about because oh my mom's gay. No, it's not how it works. People and the decisions they make lead how they raise a child. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether you're gay, straight, bi, trans. If you have good motives and you treat your children right, they'll grow up the right way. Stop being ignorant and arrogant and saying that, oh, 2 vaginas in a household, your kid's gonna grow up to like vagina, whether it's guy or girl. You don't understand it because you're not there. And in traditional households, yes, mom, dad, whatever. That's how you have kids. The world's overpopulated. Let the gays get married. We don't need more people.
Well, there's this argument that's been going around where people are saying, oh, traditional marriage should be kept traditional because the point of marriage is that people need to be able to procreate. But people who are infertile can get married. You see people who are too old to be having kids, like quite literally, their body just biologically stopped producing. They still get married, and no one bats an eye. There's nothing to denying gay marriage other than religious reasons and homophobic reasons. That's the only thing. But
Yeah, and we pay the taxes for things like so your church can sit there or your religion can stand. But separation from church and state is, I mean, you want us to do this, stop this for you, but what are you going to stop for us?
exactly, what are you doing for
Are
the
you
rest
gonna
of the
are you gonna
creation?
kill God? Because that would be much appreciated. Since I don't think he exists, I think it's a load of shit, and I may get a lot of shit from that. But if you want to be
Well,
part of
that's
a gang, join the church. There you go. I
yeah.
mean,
Well, that's just the thing. This entire country is based on freedom of religion. The entire reason that people started coming here after a while was to avoid religious persecution. So, to say that we have to deny certain people rights because of their sexuality, because the churches want to say it, is a load of shit. There's a reason there's separation of church and state, and I heard from somewhere that if they do go through with this and they illegalize gay marriage where you're not allowed to have it, they may start taxing the churches because the churches are starting to have a say in our laws. There's nothing that stops them from getting taxed now. They better damn well pay their dollars if they're gonna start doing that shit.
yes, because I would love to see the church pay out the ass in taxes because you definitely get a lot of fucking money for Jesus when you pass the bowl around.
Oh yeah, all kinds of donations and just all
Yeah, and
sorts of
I
things.
understand sometimes you churches help out the needy and whatnot. You use
Oh
some of
yeah,
that money to help, the less fortunate.
there are
But
some churches that are very excellent. They donate to the right charities. They
I
do
believe in Buddha.
well, even Christian churches, they all do acts of kindness and whatnot. They go out on missions to help people, and some of them are just they're great. They don't even preach this kind of hate. They preach, what in their Bible, God says, don't judge, and they focus on that before they focus on, condemning someone for their sexuality. They say, you know what, you're my neighbor. I'm going to love you anyway, and that's how it should be.
I know,
Religion should not preach hate.
isn't that most known God, Christianity God or whatever? Doesn't he say like all my children are equally, I love them all? Get over it, people, you're not God.
Exactly.
Let him judge at the gates. If that's how it's gonna be, then when you guys get to your pearly whites, let him do the judging. You have no place to at all.
Exactly.
That's like that fucking uh, movie Red State. Kevin Smith produced. It was. I wanted to kill everyone in that church because of the way they acted. No offense to any of the actors, you guys are all great and whatnot,
Oh
but
yeah, they played the part so damn well.
I know they made me hate them so bad. It was ridiculous, and it's just you don't have that right. It leads into the Baltimore thing. I mean, you don't have the right to destroy things that aren't yours.
People don't have the right
That's
to impose on rights for people that they aren't.
yeah,
That has
Balt-
nothing to do with them.
Baltimore riots destroying businesses and buildings that aren't theirs. Religion, destroying people's sexuality and freedom that isn't theirs. Grow up, people. I mean,
And with this Texas guy, he was talking, one of the quotes was saying how he's talking about, oh, well, it causes all kinds of psychological and social, problems for kids with two same sex parents. And, I've heard the argument before. People will say that why should a kid have, gay parents? Because when they go to school, they're going to be bullied for it and kids are going to make fun of them for it. You know where that starts? Is those parents telling their kids that it's not okay to be homosexual. That bullying stems from the parents who are going against it. So if you care anything about those kids with same-sex parents, don't fight the untraditional marriage, however you want to say it. Fight against the parents who are teaching their kids to hate other kids or hate other families because they're not like yours. That starts
exactly. You don't see gay couples' children bullying anybody else. I mean,
exactly.
they're some of the nicest people out there. And I'm not saying they're all nice. There's probably mean people out there too in
Oh
all
yeah.
sexual orientations or religious orientations. It's just the way you raise your kids, how your kid's going to be. I mean, like I said, I was raised by a lesbian and I had gay uncles. And it's just, you turn out as good as the person raising you. And I love my family to death, and they did a fabulous job, I can say. For the circumstances that I grew up in, I think I did a complete turnaround.
Oh yeah.
So, from what I could have turned out to be, an abusive man, drugs, alcoholism, shit like that, that all these guys my mom dated were into.
You could
So,
have very well grown up just like that, but you didn't.
yeah, because I switched over and got raised by a lesbian. And it wasn't by choice I switched over, but it was just more convenient that my parent couldn't take care of me. So I went there and got raised by a lesbian. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
how it is. And like I said, I didn't meet my dad till I mean, I had met him previously here and there, but I never really knew him until I was like 16, I want to say. So it wasn't even an option that I was moving in with him because I didn't really know. So after I did move in with him, he had a wife and everything, which was all right. But
It doesn't change the way that you're
yeah,
raised. There's
I was
no,
already raised by that point.
if anything, I think that people who are gay raising their kid would probably teach their kid a lot less hate than some of the straight traditional families that go to church every single Sunday that, are preaching, no, this isn't right, homosexuality is a sin, you need to put an end to it. Just, all these people preaching hate. You know what? It comes down to we're all humans. We're all
Yeah,
the same species. We are all just as equal as the other person, except for people who go gang up on a girl and her poor little kid in the middle of a park.
yes. And a lot of people don't agree with what I say right here, and I'm about to say. The world's overpopulated, and I cannot stress enough how many people need to die. And I'm not saying let's go murder everybody and
We're
commit
not talking
mass
about,
homicide,
yeah,
but if we could eliminate people in this world, we all know who would go first, and that's religious gangs. They gang up on people.
Westboro Baptist
Gang
Church.
Westboro Baptist Church. Gangs in general, and just lowlifes, people who are so down on everything else that they just
Criminals.
don't need to be there.
Exactly. You know what? If you're not making a contribution to society, you're a waste of oxygen. That's really just how it is. That's what it comes down to.
Try making the world a better place because there's not a reason not to. We're already suffering as it is. The world's in a slow decline of fucking everything because we sucked the life out of it. Humans are a disease to this planet. We are Earth's cancer, as they say.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even if it was me to be like wiped off the Earth, okay, as long as you took 4 billion other people with me.
Jeez.
And my number keeps going up because I started at 2 billion and then I went three for a while and then I was like, maybe two and a half and then I jumped to four. But that's how many people we can wipe off this earth to even just try to save it. Keep some smart mother truckers, advance the space programs, learn about our earth. We still don't know a lot about our earth. I mean, we don't even know a lot about the human brain
Well,
and the body and
it's interesting because I think the planet Earth is probably going to attempt to wipe us out in the first place. They say that scientists who study archaeology and, anthropology, all this other stuff, they say that the Earth has already gone through multiple mass extinction events. This is the reason we don't have dinosaurs anymore. The Earth goes through cycles where the weather changes drastically, all of a sudden everything dries out, things like that, where certain herbivores can't find food. The predators can't find food because the herbivores are all dying out. Their, numbers are growing thinner, so they don't have enough to eat. And it just keeps on going until eventually an entire species is wiped out. They can't reproduce anymore. Well, they say that we're on our way to another one. And this whole thing gets in with global warming, which I won't touch on very long. But people start saying global warming is a myth. No, you know what? It's something that's been happening over and over again. The Earth goes through these cycles. It does happen. It's a normal thing. We are speeding it up, and that's what they're saying. We've got a couple species of rhinos that are extinct. There are multiple species on the Earth that are extinct because of people poaching for certain, parts of their bodies. And if we keep contributing to this, we're just speeding up the process. We're causing these extinctions in the first place that don't need to be happening. So the Earth is already starting to try to get rid of us. You notice that everything's getting hotter. California's going through their worst droughts ever.
Yeah,
And
pretty soon that ocean will suck up California. You guys will be fine for water.
that's not nice.
Okay, we love all you guys in Cali, but most of people in Cali. But I mean, yeah, you guys are in a drought, and it's we're not gonna lie. Nevada's also in a drought. We're not any better off at the
Well,
moment.
Nevada's a desert, so I would
Yeah,
hope
well,
that it
we're
would
yes, it's a
be.
desert, but we're also in a drought technically because we don't our lakes and stuff are shorter than
Well,
normal by far.
a lot
So
of water levels around the earth for lakes and rivers and all sorts of things are just going down bit by bit.
and it's sad because you know what? The world's mostly water.
Yeah.
So the fact that we're going into a drought might want to tell you something, or it might tell you something altogether. People just need to come together. I don't think humans should repopulate on other planets and whatnot. I've always been a
No.
fan of, like intergalactic, interstellar, whatever you want to call it, moving, growing, like let's control space and stuff and go as far as the eye can see. Um,
It's a nifty
Warp
idea, but
10,
oh god. Prepare for
ludicrous
ludicrous speed.
speed.
Get out of my head.
Anyway, so I've always thought it'd be cool to advance, but send some smart dudes out there that won't raise idiots because if we send idiots like everything we just talked about today, other planets are going to go down so fast.
And that's the thing is I think it doesn't matter what kind of people you send because it's inevitable that not all of their offspring are going to be as intelligent as them, certain
No, it's
genetics.
not. They won't be. But send people that'll raise their kids right. Send people that'll say, "Hey, you know what? We're doing this as a future project that you can prove that people can be okay. Don't."
But that's the
And if you got
thing.
a kid who's retaliating, he's gonna be bad. Ship his ass back, or her ass,
to the
or
dying planet.
to
I
yeah,
don't
to the.
know.
You're going back to the dying planet.
I don't know. I just don't agree with
What's the dying
people.
planet? They call it Earth.
I just don't agree with the whole concept of people going to a different planet to repopulate there anyway. I think that if the Earth is going to wipe us out, we need to, obviously there's a reason. Because
Well,
we're planet killers in the first place. We don't need to be moving from planet to
we
planet
are
to keep
planet
killing them
killers, but
off.
I mean, think about the generations that went through and wiped it out. We went through industrial, and I mean, now we're starting to get more bio-friendly. And I'm not saying everybody is,
Yeah,
but
so what happens when we find a certain mineral on another planet that we've never seen before that has certain properties that we find amazing and
that
we
we
start
find amazing.
harvesting
Yes,
it
we're gonna
and it
harvest
starts
it,
breaking down the planet? It's going to happen everywhere. If
and
we start
eventually the sun's gonna implode and kill everything anyway.
But if we start spreading like that, that's just what I mean. It's like, why do we need to keep on
Well, then
spreading our disease?
and I'm not saying I've confirmed alien life forms, but why do other aliens get to do it?
If they even do.
Hey, you don't know. They might be a lot more intelligent than us and spread real fast.
They might, but if
They
they're
said
all.
we're all one race on this planet. Let's join together and become a better race and go to other planets.
And you
And
know what? I'll bet they don't kill those planets.
what's funny is people always think, oh, aliens will come and kill us. Aliens. If aliens got to us, I would think for almost a positive fact that they focus more on traveling through space and being a resourceful kind of people that they don't really need the technology to kill each other. So they wouldn't have too much war instruments, I don't think, I would hope. But, I mean, I'm not saying they wouldn't, but Just saying. Anyway, that's pretty much gonna wrap up our night.
Yeah, we went off on a wild tangent.
Yes, but on a side note, don't be stupid, people. Grow some common sense. If you can't, jump off a cliff. Common sense should tell you not to jump off a cliff. Just saying. So you're on your way. But that's it for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed our rage against stupidity.
Yeah.
Like we announced before, we do have comment sections below. We would like your inputs. Anything we talked about, if you want to talk about it with us. Like I said, I get on there and I try to chat with you guys. We also announced our email address, which we will put in the description of this particular video, which you can email us at 2119productions@gmail.com. And it'll be mostly me checking that. She might do some, point them out to me, but it'll be me replying to you guys on the comments. Probably won't get any replies through Gmail. We want that to be strictly just kind of incoming questions and whatnot.
And we'll address it on the show. So.
And we'll address it. Yeah, we'll probably pick the 3 best questions and whatnot and put them up and address them in the beginning. So that'll be that. And yeah, I don't know where I'm going from there. That's about it. If you guys have any questions about Baltimore riots or anything like that, anything news related, give us a shout down below. But what ticks your nerve? What is your rage factor? And I guess you could say stupidity? Like, what's so stupid that just sets you off and makes you angry?
In terms of dumb things that people do that really gets
It
under
could
your
be
skin.
things anything do. It doesn't have to be people necessarily, but it's gonna mostly be people, I hope. But I mean, does your Xbox turn off randomly? Does that piss you off? What angers you? That's what we want to know. So let us know down below. Tell us what angers you, and that would be great. We need some feedback. We need more people. Share this video with everyone. We're not that entertaining, but we'll catch some audiences, which I think will enjoy. So that's it for tonight, and we're about to sign off. But first, I want to leave you with a song. And the last 2 songs were good ones, always. But here tonight, we're going to talk about the song Wither that just was recently released by Tech9, featuring Corey Taylor, the lead singer of Slipknot, and Stone Sour. Great song. It's different. It's unique. The style might not fit, the occasional Corey Taylor style or Tech9 style, but I believe if you have a good taste and ear for music, you'll enjoy it. And I mean, I like it. It's good pace, a little more unique to strange music. What do you think about this song?
I actually didn't care for this one as much. It was kind of a jumble to me. Like it, every once in a while, it seemed like it was about to pick up, and then I'd be like, "Oh, cool, it's about to take off," and then no, it just goes right back to what it was doing before. And so it was like I was constantly getting my hopes up just to be let down again. But that's just me. Certain music I like, some music I don't. This just happened to be one that I wasn't big on.
Very nice. So now you know the song Wither by Tech9 featuring Corey Taylor. Check it out. And that is it for us. I'm Sean.
I'm Celeste.
And we're out.